On this vote, the ayes are 218, the nays are 211, with one answering present. The resolution is adopted.
On this vote, the yeas are 214 and the nays are 213. The motion is adopted.
Is anyone surprised that I am being targeted? Is anyone surprised that I am somehow deemed unworthy to speak about American foreign policy? Or that they see me as a powerful voice that needs to be silenced? Frankly, it is expected, because when you push power, power pushes back. Representation matters. Continuing to expand our ideas of who is American and who can partake in the American experiment is a good thing. I am an American who was sent here, by her constituents to represent them in Congress.
This one escalated quicker than expected. A routine exchange on the House floor suddenly took a turn the moment the phrase "targeted" came into play, shifting attention away from the actual criticism being raised. Instead of a back and forth on policy or conduct, the argument quickly moved into familiar territory: accusations, framing, and attempts to recenter the conversation around victimhood. But lawmakers like Malliotakis weren't engaging with the drama. They stayed locked in on the substance and pushed back in a way that forced the room to stay on topic. What followed wasn't the usual political back and forth. The tone shifted, the framing cracked, and the exchange became a much bigger discussion about accountability inside Congress. Like, subscribe, and share for more breakdowns like this.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. And to use that logic, well, then all those people should have just said sorry and we'd move on, right? But no, we don't do that. And let me tell you, I take a little bit of offense to what the hell is wrong with me. I'll tell you, there's nothing wrong with me. I took an oath to defend the Constitution, and that's exactly what I'm going to do. Again, I'm not going to apologize for it. I'm going to hold the Constitution, and it's very simple. We really shouldn't even have this debate. If you break the law and you follow due process, there are consequences to your actions, even if you say sorry. So we can try all of the diversion tactics that we would like. It doesn't change the fact that someone broke the law and that someone should be held accountable. It is disappointing, Mr. Speaker, that their own party can't hold them accountable, that they have such hypocrisy. So with that, I yield 2 minutes to my friend from New York.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. We've heard from my colleagues the reasons why the Representative Omar should be removed from this committee. But I feel like all the reasons have not just yet been stated, which is why I rise to add for the record. We've heard about the comments that were made regarding anti-Semitism and anti-Israeli views, but I rise to add to the record that as a member of the Foreign Affairs Committee, I've sat there and heard the representative actually spew anti-American rhetoric as well. I've been in that committee room where the representative equates Israel and the United States to Hamas and the Taliban. Absolutely unacceptable for a member of that committee. I've also heard the representative equate that it is the United States' fault that there is turmoil in Venezuela. That is not because of the oppressive socialist and communism that has spread throughout Central and South America in Venezuela at the hands of the Maduro and Hugo Chavez regimes. That is unacceptable. And as a New York representative, to hear the representative belittle, to try to diminish the worst terrorist attack on United States soil on September 11, 2001, as some people did something, that is unacceptable as well. And I hold the same standard for this side of the aisle that I do the other. Because when another colleague on my side said something about 9/11, I also voted to have her removed from the Education Committee because I thought that was inappropriate. So I'm being consistent here, and I hope my colleagues will do the same to show that this is about consistency and accountability, because we should not have an individual with those views on the committee that is tasked with representing our country and our Congress to foreign nations. I yield back.
This segment leans heavily into a clear framing battle: identity and personal history versus political accountability. The reference to Omar holding up a childhood photo is used to establish emotional context, but the counterpoint being made is that personal background does not override scrutiny of public statements or policy positions. The argument then shifts toward the core tension in the clip: whether criticism of U.S. institutions and foreign policy crosses into disqualifying rhetoric for certain committee roles. Nicole Malliotakis is positioned as enforcing consistency, especially around what conduct is acceptable for members serving on sensitive committees like Foreign Affairs. Lisa McClain's response is framed as more institutional than emotional, focusing on rules, consequences, and the Constitution rather than personal conflict. That contrast is important in how the segment is presented. One side emphasizes narrative and intent, while the other emphasizes standards and enforcement.